there are 3 Big 12 teams in the top 10, including Kansas at number 2. You have Baylor at 6, West Virginia at 7. John Chomley, Miles Simon with you. Miles, you look at this matchup here. What does Ish Wainwright mean to Baylor?
Well, he means everything to this team because he's not their leading rebounder or leading scorer or best shooter, but he's their most important piece because he is the leader of this team, and he gets them going, and he led them to a bounce-back victory on Saturday at Kansas State. And this young man, Jared Allen, the #1 center coming out of high school, coming off a career-high 19 points against West Virginia on Saturday. He'll have to have a dominant game today for the Longhorns.
Well, one of the top freshmen in the country. Jacob Young getting a start for the 2nd straight game for Texas as they try and feed the post. They get a foul inside on Lual Achuil. Or kickball. Beg your pardon.
And you can see the emphasis on the first possession for the Longhorns, trying to get one-on-one matchups inside for Jared Allen.
Good look. There's Allen, and he throws it down.
That's a nice baseline out-of-bounds play. They get it into the big fella. He dives into the heart of the zone, and a beautiful pass.
Manu Lecomte, the Miami transfer, is their lead guard, and feed inside Wainwright, and Lual Achuil not able to hit. Here come the Longhorns.
So that was good defense by Shaq Claire, just getting Achuil off of his spot, making him shoot the running hook from about 10 feet.
Aaron Allen against Motley, and there's Claire with the putback. So Jared Allen couldn't hit, but Claire puts it in.
Well, I did the Longhorns game on Saturday against West Virginia, and those two guys were excellent. They shot a high percentage. They really played off each other very well, and off to a tremendous start here in the first minute and a half.
Motley, as they move the ball, Lecomte into the paint. Jumper wouldn't go, Claire the board. Texas a 4-0 lead. And a double dribble. One of the things you might have noticed on the Baylor side, wearing the black jerseys, the names on the back don't match the players, and the reason for that is tonight they're honoring a group they call the Immortal 10. 90 years ago, 10 Baylor students perished in an accident. They were in a bus on their way to play the Longhorns in Austin, and they honor the 10 tonight, a group of players, fans, and coaches. And this is the oldest rivalry in Baylor history since the 05-06 season. Young from way downtown, in and out, Motley the board. We'll have more on the Immortal 10 coming up. And a travel on Baylor.
Well, one thing I liked about this Texas team on Saturday is that I know it's a young team and the record doesn't indicate maybe the progress that is being made, but they played West Virginia down to the final shot, the last seconds of the game. They continue to compete. It's a team that's playing without a true point guard. You have Jones and Kerwin Roach, both of them more comfortable off the basketball, but I think you saw a lot of growth this past Saturday. And that's an excellent post pass from Jones to Jared Allen. Allen does a great job of presenting himself as he gets the position down low.
Got in very deep to accept that toss. Good position for the freshman.
But this team, they'll really defend you. They'll make you work for everything you get on the offensive end of the floor.
Motley to step back, and it'll go.
Got to spend some time around Jonathan Motley this summer at the Nike Basketball Academy, where he was one of the best players throughout the 3 or 4 days that we were in Los Angeles. He said the toughest guys he had to go against was Alec Peters from Valpo, who's having a tremendous senior season, and Chris Boucher from Oregon.
Motley's been quiet the last couple of games, off to a good start here tonight. Claire, little jump hook, and that'll go. So the Maryland transfer off to a good start.
Well, Shaka Smart said this to us in shoot-around today, that when they played Baylor last year, and Baylor was playing their zone, because their wings are lifted, they feel they can get one-on-one opportunities down low, and so far they're taking full advantage of that.
They get an offensive foul on Joe Luala-Chuil. And it'll go the other way. Early on, it's Texas leading Baylor 8-4. Shaq Claire, one of the strongest guys in the league, maybe even in the country.
Well, look, he gets the deep post position. I love the bounce pass there from Jacob Young. Perfect delivery. And Shaq Claire, he's almost always going to go over that left shoulder. Beautiful jump hook from 7 or 8 feet.
Yeah, Ray Natilli has the foul there on T.J. Maston.
You know, we mentioned that Texas doesn't have a true point guard right now playing for them. You remember they lost Isaiah Taylor, left early for the NBA draft, playing in the D-League right now. Javon Felix was steady as they come, scoring off the ball last year. But they did get a huge commitment yesterday from a point guard, Matt Coleman, out of Oak Hill Academy, one of the best in the country. He is a guy that is going to come and set the table for this Longhorn team next year. And I think he will help them vastly improve in a short amount of time. I've got to spend time around Coleman this past summer, and he's excellent.
Wainwright, that was halfway down. Allen the board. Yeah, they need a facilitator. It's a grind offensively at times for Texas. Good rebound there by Banks. Jones tries to track it down. He was overthrown. Our under 16 timeout, and Shaka Smart's team on the road with the lead. Baylor, they're notorious for playing zone. This year, though, they mixed it up with a lot of man. But he said last year they played him 3 times. They played 120 minutes of zone.
That's crazy. Every possession. And Baylor is kind of known for their zone, but I think Scott Drew actually does a good job of mixing up his defenses, as does Shaka Smart right here, going to the 1-2-1-1 press.
Gotta hurry.
10 seconds. Yep.
And indeed it is. Darren George right on top of that.
And Coach Smart did this on Saturday against West Virginia, which kind of muddled up the game a little bit against West Virginia, threw them off, changed his defenses. Smart move to come out of that timeout into the zone. And it took a couple seconds just for the Baylor players to adjust there.
Both teams with 3 turnovers. All the points have been scored in the paint so far in this game.
Baylor now going to the man-to-man.
Roach here directing traffic. Hesitates, gets inside, rejected there by Maston. Freeman eyeing up Motley, and Motley on a smaller Davis.
See, when Freeman passes that ball inside, he has to relocate because he had Jared Allen guarding him, but Jared Allen was able to dig down in the post there because Freeman didn't move. Freeman has to make Jared Allen lose vision of him so they can kick out to a wide open 3.
Got the foul on Davis, his first. Freeman the jumper, that's no good. And Roach, man, he can jump. Kerwin Roach Jr., there is no question, top athlete on this team.
47.5-inch max vert. Now, he was a back-to-back state triple jump champion in the state of Texas, over 50 feet.
And that one way long from Roach. LeCompte now. Baylor down 4 in the early going.
Motley will shoot that.
Little skip pass, and then a kick inside, knocked away, and here comes Jones. Jones, nice as he knifes through the lane and lays it in.
That's a beautiful play. I love the jump stop from Jones there. Gave him much more body control going to the rim.
Well, they get a foul down low on Baylor. That one's on Motley.
Well, look in transition right here. Andrew Jones, right here, he splits the defense with the beautiful jump stop. And look how much ground he covered. About 8 or 10 feet in the air. Super athletic play there from Jones. Highly touted freshman. Still kind of finding his way around, but playing better as of late. Coming off a career-high 17 points versus West Virginia. Went 4 for 9 from behind the arc. His sister is an absolute stud. Probably, at this point, a better player than her brother, Alexis Jones. She's up in the stands tonight. Got a chance to talk to her. She came and caught up with her brother at shooter, and I said, so you're going to be wearing Baylor gear or Texas gear tonight? And she said, oh, I got to roll with my brother. It always goes blood first.
Player going to work inside. Goes left hand, nice move. He's got 6.
Shaq Claire actually giving them probably more production than they expected this season. 7 and 5. He's a good free throw shooter.
LeCompte off the catch and shoot, and the Lindsay feed. So Manu able to knock one down. Young not able to answer. And Lindsay the rebound. His dad, the GM of the Utah Jazz, and he's here tonight. Lual Achuil is bumped on the baseline. Foul charge to Banks. Well, there's Alexis in the black cap in the middle.
She was MOP of the Big 12 tournament last year. She averages 16 points per game, which leads the number 2 ranked Baylor Bears women's team this season. She said her brother couldn't beat her till he was a sophomore in high school and he actually hit a growth spurt. And I love the fact she told me, she's like, and I would never let him beat me either. He had to earn it.
DJ Maston knocks down the jumper. Yeah, Big Sis wasn't having it.
But that's how you get little brother better. Yeah. You make him compete. Now, I like this lineup that Baylor has in there now. I like when Jake Lindsay comes in the game because he gives him another ball handler, a point guard on the floor, and allows LeCompte to play off the ball a little bit more and really score the basketball.
And they get LeCompte on the offensive foul. What do you think about that call?
I didn't like it.
Manu LeCompte, the native of Belgium, take a peek.
LeCompte puts it on the floor right there, a little change of direction. Maybe a little bit of an elbow to get some separation.
I don't think there's enough there.
I think that's a play on.
Well, Baylor's already turned it over 5 times. And one of the issues that we've seen with Baylor the last few games is they've been turning it over more. Well, look who's checked into the game. Kendall Yancey. Wearing number 5 for Texas in white, and he's missed the last few games with a high ankle sprain.
Just got cleared about 20 minutes before game time tonight to be able to play.
Roach flips it up and in as Claire is able to put it home.
That's a beautiful touch pass from Roach. You can see the growth with him and the confidence that he's gaining each and every game of playing this point guard spot. Now right now, if I'm Ish Wainwright, I want to attack Kendall Yancey. Test that ankle, see if he can guard me.
Freeman. Lual Achuil can't get it to go. Allen the board, and here come the Longhorns. They lead it by 5. And Wainwright charged with that foul.
Well, this young Longhorn team has come into Waco, and they're awake right now. The beautiful touch pass and the finish from Shaq.
Guys, want to say 50%?
Goal that it took place, and they have a temporary eternal flame lit outside the Farrell Center. And it's a story that students, not just student athletes, but students know all about the Immortal 10.
And Boog, as I was reading about this tragedy earlier today and last night, and it truly was a tragedy, but there was a hero of the accident, and it was James Clyde Kelly, who was the captain-elect of the 1927 football team. And he saw the train just before impact and pushed his roommate, Weir Washman, out of the bus window and saved his life. And I thought that was really obviously a self-sacrifice.
Yeah, Kelly lost
by
his.
Kelly.
From the corner, Freeman wouldn't go. Claire rips down the rebound. And again tonight, Baylor on the back of their uniforms wearing the names of the 10 that lost their lives. So you're used to seeing this group out there, whether it's Al Freeman or Jake Lindsay, and instead it's representation of the Immortal 10. It's a pretty special tribute, and Again, 90 years ago. That season was canceled that year. The game as they were getting ready to play the Longhorns. Out of bounds, Baylor basketball, 5-point game. John Chummy and Miles Simon here from the Farrell Center in Waco. Baylor spent last week at #1, lost in West Virginia. Miles, they bounced back with a really good road win, whether people outside the Big 12 know it or not. Going into K-State, that is no easy task to pick up a W, and Bruce Weber's got a good team this year.
Yeah, they really do have a good team, and it's a team I think can make the NCAA tournament this season. And to go on the road after getting beat by 21 points when you had just received the #1 ranking at West Virginia in a game that you and I did, and they were just flat and kind of lethargic and turned the ball over 29 times. It's not easy to go and bounce back like, but it shows this team has true grit, some toughness to it, great leadership, and they were led by Ish Wainwright, which I think he made a statement not only to his coaching staff but to his teammates about how important that game was. He scored the first 5 points of that game. Not a guy that's known for his scoring. He only averages six per game, but he knew the importance of that game and that his teammates were going to follow his lead and however he played.
Wainwright with Baylor's last bucket. He is their lone senior, Ish Wainwright, and their leader, unselfish. They talked about him as a guy that could shoot 3 times, and after the game, if it's a W, he acts like he got 40. Baylor on a 7-2 run. Seconds and a turnover, and Baylor basketball. So with a 3, they can tie it up. Shot Smart and Scott Drew matching up in this one. Shaka Smart, second year at Texas for Scott Drew, his 14th year at Baylor. They've been in the NCAA tournament 6 of the last 9 years, twice to the Elite 8.
What a job he's done here. A lot of credit to Scott. They do a great job of developing players throughout the years, getting into the league, and it's a place where players don't rush to try to get out of the program. They stay, they play their 3 or 4 years. They're willing to redshirt and learn and compete against each other. That's how you build a program.
Well, there's something with Scott Drew where he's able to get these guys to buy in and be unselfish.
Well, I talked to Motley last game and at the West Virginia game. He said this group is as tight as he's ever seen. He said sometimes just all 12 or 13 of us are just hanging out at someone's apartment. We're together all the time.
Maston gets that to go, and it's a 1-point game.
I love TJ Maston. Coached against him in some AAU basketball. He actually hit a game winner against my team one summer.
Guy could probably start for some teams.
Absolutely he could. For many of them in this league.
Allen inside, jump hook, that'll go.
Boy, does he have great touch.
Claire and Allen have been sensational in this game.
And I love he had no wasted motion in the post. Knew he had the guy on his back, went to his patented jump hook right away.
Comp wandering into the paint.
And for Baylor to be successful, this guy with the ball, Al Freeman, he has to continue. He has to play at a higher level. He struggled in league play there. He knocks down the jump shot. But he just brings a scoring punch to this team and the 3-point ability that can stretch defenses, open it up on the inside for Motley. He has to continue to assert himself.
Good ball movement, Jones, a wide open look, and he buries it.
Great extra pass from Kerwin Roach. Passed up his own opportunity for a better one, for a better shooter in Andrew Jones.
Jones a big-time recruit, number 29 in the ESPN 100. Maston. And a rebound yanked down by Roach. Yancey toss inside. Allen tried to sneak it up and under Motley. Jones. Here come the Baylor Bears. Foul on Texas.
Well, the freshman Andrew Jones, he's feeling it tonight. And as the Farrell Center crowd woke up. Andrew Jones told college.
You like to shoot.
No, I actually like to pass more. The coaches wanted me to shoot. Let's put it that way. The coaches wanted me to shoot.
Okay.
I like to give the ball to Mike Bibby and Dickerson and Damon Stoudemire. I had guys around me.
Okay.
Jay Will had a lot of studs around him, but yet he was still shooting.
Shoot, shoot, shoot. 4-point game here in Waco. And Baylor basketball. 7:46 to go here in the first half. LeCompte kicked out. Freeman. Well, that's a jab step that'll work.
That got the crowd awake. Put him on skates without the dribble.
Yep.
Hey, that's fundamentals right there. Shot fake, jab fake,
yeah,
and a 3-ball. Back to the zone for the Bears. See if Texas can get the ball inside. That's where they are effective early.
Player being harassed, and they get the foul on Lindsey. Scott Drew talking to Kip Kissinger.
Well, look at this kick out right here. Watch the footwork of Al Freeman. I love it. Shot fake, jab fake, the slippage. Falls down. But most important, when the guy falls down, you got to make the shot because it ruins everything else, right?
Claire off to a great start this year from the free throw line, 87%. And what a night he's having. He's made 19 straight free throws.
Here's what I like about Shaq Claire. He's the strongest guy on the team. Their strength coach told us he can do 24 body weight chin-ups. This dude weighs 275 pounds. I'm struggling to do 3 of those.
Yeah, he's a monster.
He's a monster.
Motley on Claire. And Motley flips it up and in. Use a little quickness and length advantage out.
Well, nice patience in the post also.
Great look inside. Texas answers immediately. Lindsey. And the put in there from Nooney Omar.
Well, nice drive by Jake Lindsey. He brings the shot blocker over to him, and that allows the free run for Omar to the rim.
Crowd coming to life. Baylor, number 6 team in the country. Young. And a foul inside on Baylor.
Well, against this zone, one of the things that you can get a free run from the perimeter for offensive rebounds. And Andrew Jones exploited that right there, coming from outside the three-point line to try to keep that play alive.
That foul on LeCompte, his second. And he grabs a seat. So here is Andrew Jones. Talk about a recruiting visit that goes well. Andrew Jones, when he went to Texas on his trip, he got a chance to see them beat North Carolina. That'll help sell things a little bit, right?
That'll help get things done. This is where these are the teams we're going to play.
Yeah.
This is how you'll help us beat them.
Beat the number 3 team in the country on that Javon Felix jumper at the buzzer.
Baylor was his other final school. Wanted to stay close to home. Young man from Irving, Texas, MacArthur High School.
It's a young Texas team. I mean, you look at the group that's out there. Banks a freshman, Allen a freshman, Jones a freshman. Motley jumper. Allen to board. They've done a great job getting the ball inside.
Right now, I'm going to try to find Jared Allen against Omot. Now he has Ish Wainwright on him.
Shot clock under 10. Roach wandering and drew the foul.
He sold it too. Roach jumped into Lindsey. Did a great job of navigating the ball screen. Fakes inside. There's no foul there. It's a bad call.
Forward Roach Jr. leads the team in assists with Isaiah Taylor gone. You mentioned it. Left early after his junior years in the D-League now.
Well, he's been playing really well over his last 3 games. Nearly 13 points per game, 5 assists per game. He's knocking down the 3-point shot. He has spent a lot of time watching film of his games one-on-one with Coach Smart, learning what he's doing right and what he's doing wrong, and you can see the growth continuing to come for Roach.
Oh my goodness, there's the lob. Lindsey to Oma. That was long distance. And a travel.
Well, this is a beautiful set play designed by Scott Drew. They set it for one of the best athletes, and Lindsey from near half court delivers it perfectly, but the most important part of that play was the back screen set by Jonathan Motley, sacrificing himself for the betterment of the team against Jared Allen, so he couldn't contest that pass.
Lindsey does a nice, steady job handling the ball, doesn't he?
I really like what he does. He's 6'4", 6'5", high basketball IQ, has improved his jump shot this season.
Jumper wouldn't go. A little collision as Omot and Roach get tied up. Davis. And Wainwright the board. Freeman from Lindsey. Got it. And we're all tied up.
Lindsey just makes the right decision. He had Motley trailing him, but there was 2 defenders in the paint. Freeman runs to the deep corner, and he delivers it on time and on target.
Freeman the other way. Baylor trying to take the lead. Motley on Allen. Good matchup here. Lindsey. Well, he says he's a more confident shooter this year. He's made a couple of big plays, and he's brought Baylor all the way back. Jake Lindsey, the sophomore, having a nice first half.
Lindsey does a great job of relocating the much improved 3-point shooter from Olympus High School. Knocks it in from deep.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. And Liberty Mutual Insurance. Liberty stands with you.
Oh, man.
Are they done fighting in studio yet?
Holy cow. Somebody get them a thesaurus or something. Baylor.
I love those guys.
On top here, John Shambi and Miles Simon. And Baylor doing a nice job moving the ball around and getting Al Freeman involved for that 3-pointer. Lindsey's had a really good first half.
Yeah, tremendous minutes by Jake Lindsey off the bench. And I mentioned it when he came in. High basketball IQ, one of the best passers on this team. So now where's the answer going to come from for the Longhorns? Has to be Claire and Allen. They have 16 points.
Jones can't hit Motley the board.
See, and that's what the zone will bait you into doing sometimes. Making you live by the jump shot.
Freeman wanted it, had a good look at it. Omot the board. And now Motley an offensive rebound. Freeman, really good look. Motley And he'll go to the line and shoot two. A really dogged possession from Baylor. A lot of aggressiveness there. Motley to the line. So we got a Big Ten ACC doubleheader for you, ESPN Thursday night. First, Maryland takes on Iowa, and then Clemson and number 12, Louisville. Both games streaming live. Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
Louisville coming off that big win this weekend against Duke, but their point guard, Quentin Snyder, who's having a tremendous season for Coach Rick Pitino, has a little hip flexor injury, going to be out for a couple weeks. Some big shoes to fill.
Oh, nice move by Davis. Is able to spin that off the glass.
Yeah, Davis is a guy that they were expecting to make a bigger jump this year as a sophomore. Has struggled from behind the arc, shooting only 22% on the season. Look how Lindsey just delivered the pass. Where only his guy can handle it. Not too hard for the big guy there. Makes it bounce up right into his waist, so he can go up right to the rim and finish quickly.
Roach was trying to get it into Allen. Now Jones does. Allen to big board, and they say he went over the back.
Well, Jake Lindsey just under control here. The jump stop, the stride step, delivers it perfectly to Amat, who goes up to the board quickly before Jared Allen can contest.
They want to give our best to. Felt bad seeing that the news finally came out. Maurice Watson, ACL's college career is over for Creighton.
That one hurts
really
me.
Good player.
Yeah, that one hurts me because Creighton, Final Four good team. Not that they're not, but it changes the whole dynamic. Watson having such a stellar senior season.
Davis trying to connect with Claire. Braden Tilly says it stays Texas basketball. Darren George goes over to chat with him quickly. And they'll turn it around.
Right now, if you're in the bonus if you're Baylor, let's get Jonathan Motley a touch against the freshman.
Rounds that one home. So Motley able to get it to go. All of a sudden, Baylor up by 6. Motley's got 9. A 13-2 run. Motley rebounds the Banks miss. Here's Jones, the steal, the push, and the dunk. Look out!
Andrew Jones,
Explosive.
both ends of the floor, the steal, the long steps, and now he's pumping his team up. What a play.
Oh my. Oh my.
Well, here's Andrew Jones in transition, going full speed. The little crossover step and the strong finish. Jones doing it on both ends of the floor for the Longhorns, keeping them close to end the half. But how about the minutes from Nooney Omat? Taking advantage of his time on, that's how you earn more playing time going forward. Being productive when you're out there on both ends.
Seven-point game. Jacob Young checking back in. Davis grabs a seat. Roach has it picked off by Ish Wainwright. And now in Lindsey's hands.
Turnover's been a problem all season for this Texas team. They have a negative assist to turnover ratio as a group.
Baylor holds for the last shot, up by 7. And here they go. Lindsey on the move to the corner, and Wainwright step back 3. And Baylor will take a 7-point advantage to the break. Texas led by as many as 8 in the first half. Baylor up 38-31 after the break. Carl Ravitch, Seth Greenberg, and Jay Will, the Land Rover halftime report. 31 lead at the half. Hi, folks. Thanks for joining us. John Chomby and Miles Simon. You know, you talked about some of the names in this Baylor lineup. Jonathan Motley's a guy you think about, but it was the bench that really carried them. 2 guys in particular.
Yeah, it's a deeper bench than most people probably give them credit for. And Jake Lindsey and Nooney Omat really sparked this Baylor team to get this halftime lead of 7 points. There, Lindsey takes over the point guard spot for LeConte, delivers a perfect alley-oop to Omat. And then the drive here, and Omat presents himself on the offensive glass. But Jake Lindsey had 5 assists, only 1 turnover. Omat comes in with a career-high 9 points in 8 minutes, 4 for 5 from the field. And that was really the difference for this Baylor team getting back in the game, was those 2 guys.
Baylor a 16-9 bench advantage, and the margin is that many, 7 at the half. Meanwhile, Jared Allen and Shaq Claire both very good in the first half down low for Texas.
Yeah, they were. Those 2 guys had 16 points, and then you add in the freshman Andrew Jones, who gets 9. They were solid, but still too many turnovers for this Longhorn team. The offense got a little bit stagnant, took some bad shots towards the end of the half. We'll see what adjustments they come out with.
Davis gets into the paint, gets bumped by his own guy. Now needs some help. And 3 seconds called there. They're without a true point guard. And if you're Shaka Smart, it's got to be hard. There's got to be times where he feels like he's coaching every pass.
Yeah, it's really difficult to play without a guy that is not an extension of the coach on the floor. And Jones, Davis, Roach, all of them more comfortable playing off the ball for the most part. Because the hardest thing is when you're trying to transition from a shooting guard or a wing player to be the point guard is finding the balance between scoring and passing. And also you have to know what everyone else's responsibilities are on the floor. I had to go through that transition from college to the NBA. It wasn't successful for me. I was good. Once you get me in the half court, I was a pretty good passer. But I didn't want to initiate the offense when I was 18, 19, 20, or 21 years old, however it was. And it is a big adjustment for young players to make, and especially at the college, especially at the highest levels of college and pro.
Couple of quick fouls on Texas here the second half. Motley aggressively to the bucket and lays it in. He's got 11. Motley with 15 total points the last 2 games combined. So back on track for their leading scorer.
Jacob Young's got to throw that ball in the post.
Claire puts it on the deck and then had it knocked away. Texas ball.
Well, Jonathan Motley showing some of his perimeter skills. Jared Allen, you got to be able to sit down in a stance. I know he gets a little bit walled off by Lual Achuil. You got to sit down in a stance, be able to move your feet, not give up straight line drives.
Young catch and shoot. And Motley the board. Lual Achuil double team. Motley from the elbow.
Motley's one of the guys that has really developed in this program. When you think of guys like Quincy Astley, Torian Prince, Corey Jefferson, just kind of bided their time. Motley really learned when he was redshirting and having to compete against Isaiah Austin and Corey Jefferson and Rico Gathers in practice. That's where players really get better, is that practice time and time off. It's not the game situations.
Wall-Achuil not able to hit. Texas back the other way. Davis speeding towards the rim, and he gets fouled. We've got a Big Ten ACC doubleheader for you on Thursday. Maryland and Iowa started off at 7. In our nightcap, number 12, Louisville taking on Clemson. And again, that's at 9 Eastern.
Well, Boog, this guy at the foul line is the guy that has to make some improvement throughout the Big 12 if Texas is going to want to win some more ball games. He had a very good freshman year, and I was very high on this young man from Saginaw, Michigan, Arthur Hill High School. Especially with Tevin Mack, their leading scorer, 15 points per game, being out for an indefinite amount of time. Eric Davis has the ability to score and pass and defend, but his confidence has been down a little bit.
Some pressure from Texas after the make. Motley, and he'll go to the line. As you mentioned, Tevin Mack suspended indefinitely, violation of team rules, leads the team in minutes per game, points per game, 3-point percentage. So we talked about that missing offense. Part of it is no Tevin Mack.
Yeah, and Tevin Mack is perfect for how Shaka Smart wants to run their offense. He's a stretch 4-man, can put the ball on the floor a little bit, good catch and shoot. And that gives more room for Jared Allen or Shaq Claire, whoever the 5-man would be with Tevin Mack to be on the floor.
Shaka Smart's team was up by as many as 8 in the first half. But Baylor able to rally thanks in part to really nice play from the bench. Crowd's filled in nice. Maybe not quite a full house here at the Farrell Center, but they've been loud in stretches. Claire able to corral that one. They move it quickly. Davis jump stop. And Baylor basketball.
Okay, that's a good shot by Eric Davis. Being aggressive, just didn't get it to fall.
Young goes and tracks down the fly ball.
Look at Allen post up, man. He knows how to play. He did a great job of rim running right there, put his head underneath the rim, got Lual-Achuil on his back, and draws the 3rd foul.
Lual-Achuil, 4th in the nation in blocks. By and large, he's done it without fouling this year. Tonight, that hasn't been the case. Allen has put him on his hip and Claire a lot and done good work.
Yeah, too many times he's let those guys get into his body.
And the foul as Roach gets inside. Get that one on Motley, his 2nd.
Now, there's also something to be said for this Texas team with what they lost last year. When you lose Isaiah Taylor, Javon Felix, Prince Ebay, Lambert, Ridley. Now, Eric Davis and Kerwin Roach had successful freshman seasons because they had all those veterans playing ahead of them. So like when you go down the scouting report, Kerwin Roach and Eric Davis, they're like the 5th or 6th guy that the coaches are talking about. Now you come into this year, you're right at the top. Now you're seeing the best defenders from each team. If you're Eric Davis and Kerwin Roach and you have Jared Allen on the inside. So it's a bit of a different role, and now you lost all that leadership. Are you ready to step in to those type of shoes and fill those shoes?
It's a Texas team that went to the NCAA tournament, lost in a heartbreaker, a buzzer beater in the first round, Northern Iowa. Wainwright off the mark, Texas the other way, trying to cut into an 8-point deficit. Nice look to Allen, and then out of bounds, and it'll stay with Texas.
Man, Allen can really run that floor. He beat the other 2 bigs down the floor, wasn't able to handle or corral the pass.
rebounds. The Roach miss. And Manu Lecomte sets it up. The junior from Belgium, the transfer from the University of Miami. Grew up following his uncle to basketball practice. There's Lecomte. He was just 4 years old, fell in love with the sport.
And there's where he's best, in the little pick and roll action. Took his time off the screen, gets the long strides to the rim.
In and out, Allen the putback, and the foul. Jared Allen with the bucket. Allen will be at the line when we were
seen in person. They are my team that I think is the best in the country right now to date. Josh Hart is having a phenomenal season. They won at Purdue, which not many people are going to win. At Creighton already, when Creighton was still a full team without the loss of Maurice Watson. I love the way the Jayhawks are playing, and Frank Mason has been an absolute stud. Him and Josh Hart are 1 and 1A for National Player of the Year in my book. And the Zags, still undefeated. They just handled St. Mary's. I mean, they demolished St. Mary's on Saturday. And I know it was at the Kennel, but it was still a 23-point difference from the two best teams in your league.
At BYU, at St. Mary's, obviously, for them. But are they going to go undefeated?
Yes, they are. Going into the tournament, they're going to go undefeated. I got to see the Zags firsthand, and it's a team that's only going to continue to get better, and here's why. They're relying on 3 transfers this year. Nigel Williams-Goss, their point guard, he only practiced 10 times last year because he was injured on his redshirt season. Jordan Matthews, the grad transfer from Cal, only came in when school started. So it's a team that is still learning about each other, has room to grow in that sense. Jonathan Williams, transfer from Missouri, has been tremendously effective. They can shoot the ball, they defend. Fun team to watch.
You talked about, we were talking off the air about health. Shemek Bardowski, a guy who dealt with a serious back issue, and he's still got some room. I mean, he's a skilled post player.
Yeah, I don't even think he's 100% yet. I had their game against Washington in early December, and they said he was still about 80 to 85%, and he is playing at a very high level for Coach Mark Few.
Last foul on Allen, his third. He'll grab a seat. And fellow freshman James Banks will come in for him. Lecomte speeding into the paint. Now Motley a 3. And Claire rips down the rebound. Jones into the paint, off the window. And they're going to say offensive interference.
And I think that ball was going to drop in. I think Jones had put enough English on that ball that it was going to fall. I love the aggressive mentality from Andrew Jones. Gets it in transition. Nobody's going to stop him. He cuffs that basketball, puts it up nice and soft off the glass. Banks just trying to be aggressive. But offensive goaltending is the call.
Got Lecomte and Lindsay in the game at the same time right now. Freeman spinning, lost the handle. They go to the possession arrow, and it'll be Baylor basketball.
Now Baylor has to recognize there's only 8 seconds on the shot clock. Get into something that's a quick hitter. You want Lecomte or Lindsay to be handling the basketball here?
It's Lindsay to Lecomte. Pull-up jumper. Young as he waits for his teammates.
He wants to get to that left jump hook, left shoulder jump hook. That's his go-to. He's so strong, he creates space in there.
Got about a 55-point or pound advantage, I should say, on Joe Lual-Achuil. Just tied his season high with 12 points. Again, if you're just joining us, Baylor wearing the black jerseys. The names on the back of the jerseys may not seem to correspond with the players. They don't. Baylor honoring a group they called the Immortal 10. 90 years ago, 10 Baylor students, a group of players, fans, and coaches making a drive in a bus to Texas. 10 of that group lost their lives, and so they honor that group with their names on the back of the jerseys. Davis able to take it away. Texas trying to cut into an 8-point deficit. Claire couldn't get that to go. And eventually it ends up in the hands of Manu Lecomte. Maston, lob, Achuil. Joe Lual Achuil.
Just a little thing that Maston did right there by taking the dribble in, got the defender to step to him and freed the pass up on the weak side.
Claire inside, too strong. Lindsay, easy bucket. Timeout, Texas. And Baylor enjoying a 12-point advantage.
Well, Baylor can get it going in a hurry. The little post-to-post pass, the beautiful lob, and the finish. And then they can hurt you in transition. Jake Lindsay with the easy lay-in. Bears up big. But if you're Texas, that's the way you have to continue to play. They are one of the worst perimeter shooting teams in the conference. They shoot only 30% from behind the arc.
I like they were getting the crowd going with Montel Jordan. This is how we do it out of the break.
Your favorite song?
Absolutely.
I think you had that in the car today, right, on the playlist?
Baylor by a dozen, Texas ball.
And remember, to score in the paint, it doesn't have to be the big guys. It can be the guards penetrating, getting to the rim.
They tried to get it to Claire. And they're going to foul on Baylor.
Now, that's one thing Roach is going to have to take out of his game. He makes too many jump passes. He doesn't come to a jump stop enough or under control. See, he always wants to jump in the air to make the pass, and really not much contact there. That probably should have been a turnover if Baylor would have come up with it.
They get the foul on Lecomte. That's his third.
Now, with Lecomte out in the first half, they didn't miss a beat with Jake Lindsay. Lindsay had 6 assists, only 1 turnover so far in the game.
They get the foul there on Maston. Third on Maston. That's our
an under-the-radar type season for Mark Turgeon and the Terps.
Mello, one of the best guards in the country. And
well, he has them towards the top of the standings early in the Big Ten, leading the way for a young team. They got a great shooter in Kevin Herter that actually played for Shaka Smart on the under-18 USA basketball team this summer. They won a gold medal down in Chile.
Claire from in close and hits that one.
It's amazing that he doesn't shoot a higher percentage. You want your big guys when they're shooting, 3 to 5 footers to shoot about 60%. Claire only about 50, but he's showing good touch tonight. And Texas goes zone for the first time.
Unioma, Motley the follow. And I think they just teed up Jonathan Motley.
Well, Motley does a great job of going to the glass and the timing on the offensive rebound. And he throws an elbow in Jared Allen's chest for no reason. If you're Jonathan Motley, just be smarter than that. Allen didn't do anything to him. He wasn't touching him. He didn't foul him. And he wasn't holding his arm. No, that one is on you, Jonathan Motley.
Yeah.
You make this big play. You have the crowd excited. Run back on defense. Celebrate with your teammates. Don't worry about what Jared Allen is doing.
I think at times, I'm fine with the celebration, but in that particular case, that's celebration that includes the physical contact. That's no dice.
Yeah.
Can't do it. 10-point game, Texas with the ball. So here we go. And a feed inside. And they get a foul on Allen. That's his 4th. So that's a biggie right there. And they're going to bring Banks in. No, I beg your pardon. Marique Isom will check in, not Banks. Pick up ahead, Omot. And they get the foul on Shaq Claire.
That's a heck of a pass from Wainwright. And that's his importance to this team. And if you look at the stat line tonight for Ish Wainwright, 1 for 6 from the field. He hasn't had an assist yet. But look at this pass. Jumps in the air, delivers it perfectly over the outstretched arm. That's about a 50 to 55-foot pass delivered right on the money. Former football player. He's the guy that always throws the home run passes for this Baylor team. But he's the unquestioned leader of this team. And if you ask anyone inside the program, the staff, the players, people that are hanging around, even Coach Homer Drew was here today. Scott's dad was telling me the importance of Ish Wainwright to this team.
Looney Omot with that career high 11. Claire inside. Little strong. It'll go the other way, and Claire may have just picked up his 4th. He did. So Claire and Allen each with 4. There's Homer.
Great career at Valparaiso. His health is in, he says he's in great condition right now, feeling excellent. Down here visiting for the day and a half, see 3 of his grandchildren. He has 5 more in Nashville.
That's right.
With Bryce, where Bryce is now the head coach at Vanderbilt. Said him and his wife now moved to Nashville so they could be closer to the grandkids. Smart move on his part.
Well, when you got 8 grandkids, they need help with zone defense and man-to-man, right? I mean,
yeah. Running 5-on-0, I'm sure already.
And Bryce's team today, Georgia, is that?
Yeah, Georgia.
And Bryce, the head coach at Vanderbilt. They get the foul on Nooney Omot.
So Isom goes to the line. It will be his first free throws of the season. Played in his first game just this past Saturday. Got cleared to practice right after Christmas. Had ankle surgery November 1st. Transfer from Arkansas Little Rock.
Mott weaving through. And one. Jonathan Mott. Look out.
Now that's a heck of a play by a 6'10 forward. Catches the bad pass, puts it on the floor, goes by Kerwin Roach, protects the basketball, takes the contact, and gets the strong finish. I told you early in the broadcast I was so impressed by Jonathan Motley at the Nike Basketball Academy, where I got to work with him on a one-on-one scenario. Just the things he brings to the table. He has the post game, the back to the basket. Has extended his range a little bit this year, has knocked down some threes, made 6 of them so far in the season. And there you see the versatility of being able to put it on the floor.
Shaq Claire fouling out, had himself a really good game with 14 points. And how long can you leave Allen on the bench with his 4 fouls as Motley completes a 3-point play. Motley with a dozen in the second half, and he's got 21 overall. Davis launches. And it ends up with Motley. Lindsay setting it up. Lob attempt deflected, and now it's Texas basketball.
Good defense by Jacob Young. That was scouted out early. He did his homework in the post before the pass went in.
Jones. And Freeman the rebound. Baylor up by 16, under 10 to go. Out of bounds, and it belongs to Baylor. So the Bears have extended the lead here in the second half thanks to a foul trouble on the Texas bigs. Claire is fouled out. Allen has 4, and then Jonathan Motley a dozen since the half. Motley going to work again. Motley a little too strong as he was contested that time by Banks.
Jones and Davis got to be the guys right now with this lineup on the floor that have to be the most aggressive on the offensive end.
Davis won't go. Motley the board. And now the senior slows it down. Their lone senior-ish Wainwright, their leader. Lindsay jumper. And all Baylor here in the second half.
It's just a smart team and so much experience on the floor.
Omot against Yancey. Count it. Oh, goodness.
I think Seth Greenberg mentioned it in the studio. This team is methodical on how they wear you down. Grind you on the defensive end, make you work for everything, and then you get bench production from guys like Nooney Omot tonight, who has a career high. He posts up. He's been on the perimeter, active on the offensive glass. But this Baylor team, man, just so many weapons. And you can see why they've beaten so many of the better teams in the country. I mean, to come back from 20 down against Louisville in the second half, that's an amazing win on a neutral floor in a championship game. And you can see this Baylor team has the makings of a Final Four team.
Baylor on a 9-0 run. Motley's got another double-double, his 7th of the season. Now, Miles, one of the other things, Texas in the second half, the struggles of the offensive end have been a big part of the story.
Well, Jonathan Motley has been the star that Scott Drew expects him to be united in. Basis from Jonathan Motley, the energy, the effort, the scoring, the rebounding, impacting the game on the defensive end of the floor.
Jonathan Motley with a big game here tonight. All Baylor, under 8 to go, and here's Allen at the line. Saddled with foul trouble here in the second half for Texas since the break, shooting 25%. That's been a real big part of the story.
It's a team that's not a great perimeter shooting team. If they're not getting the ball inside and getting layups and easy looks or creating something off their defense to get out in transition, they're going to struggle in the half court most nights. No one to set the table for them.
LeCompte, clock winding down. Freeman will fire. And Motley, another rebound. And the putback wouldn't go, but he will go to the line. And you're mentioning Texas and the struggles. One of the things at the point guard position for next year, they got this guy, Matt Coleman, committed to Texas yesterday out of Oak Hill. What type of impact he could have?
Oh, instant impact. And for this team, he is the perfect guy to come play point guard for the Longhorns. He is a special type of passer. I got to work with him some Nike basketball. Saw him at the USA basketball training camp when he was going to go play for Shaka Smart and the U18 team. He's a guy that's going to get everyone involved first because he doesn't really care about scoring. He's an excellent defender. So now you pair him with Curlin Roach and Andrew Jones, put those guys on the wings. If Tevin Mack is able to come back into the fold and be a Longhorn in the future, he spaces the floor at the 4 spot. And we don't know what Jared Allen is going to do. Maybe he comes back because he does like being an Austin. Look at that play by Curlin Roach. You have a nice core group to start with next year if you're Shaka Smart.
Point advantage for Baylor. Motley, by the way, in this game with a career-high 16 rebounds. John Chambi and Miles Simon from the Farrell Center in Waco. Big 12 basketball, number 6. Baylor putting it on Texas. Good look, Omot, and Allen with her rejection. Yancey way short. Wainwright the board. Now LeComte. He'll try a 3. Freeman trying to spin it home. Motley underneath. The rebound and the putback. Motley with 25 now.
He's just gobbling up everything around him. Well, the Baylor Bears have been tremendous here in the second half. And
Sports Center at night. John Anderson and Nicole Briscoe. They'll have highlights and breakdowns from college, NBA, NHL, Australian Open, plus NFL playoff news and everything else. Sports Center at night after Super Tuesday Hoops on ESPN. Roach to Allen, baseline jumper. And the top flies in and grabs the board.
They got the mismatch, so they can get it to him.
Roach on Motley.
Yeah, and there wasn't much Roach could do there. He was caught in a bad spot. He tried to battle and get around, but gets caught with the holding.
Number 3 on Roach. That matches his season high with 26 for Jonathan Motley. Allen pulls down the board. All Baylor here in this one. Allen, nice move up and under, puts it in.
Footwork is lovely right there.
Yeah.
He has such patience in the post, and that's one of the hardest things to teach a young post guy. Is having patience, not trying to go too quick. He waits and he was reading the defense, sold the up fake, beautiful step through. He's a guy that's still having to get used to playing through contact, because in high school when you're the biggest and strongest guy, it's fairly easy for you to do what you want.
Motley gets rejected there, but grabs it, flips it back up and in, and a new career high for Jonathan Motley. 28.
Allen wants the ball. I love him. He's demanding. Throw it back. Get it to me. I want to go one-on-one against Motley after he just scored.
Soft touch.
I love seeing that from Jared Allen, because Shaka Smart, I had their game Saturday. He said that's one thing that we have been wanting more of from Jared Allen is for him to demand the ball and have a presence every time down the floor. And he's doing that better as of late.
Motley. And a rebound. And eventually, Young comes up with it, and then they get the block on Freeman.
Here's Motley just working one-on-one in the post. Allen with the excellent timing, but Motley able to stay with it and get the easy lay-in.
So it'll be Jacob Young at the line for a couple of shots.
Young man from Houston, Texas, Yates High School. Actually played for Greg Wise, who his son Nick Wise, I got the coach at the University of Arizona. His brother is Joe Young, former Pac-12 Player of the Year, now playing for the Indiana Pacers. Joe
Dad?
Young. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, the dad, Michael Young, member of Phi Slamma Jamma.
Pressure here, Wainwright up into the front court. The takeaway. Here's Jones now. Lost the handle, gives off, Roach. And Omot eventually comes away with it.
See, and this is what you don't want to see from Baylor. Sloppy last couple of possessions, and I think Scott Drew's going to try to clean it up.
So a timeout here in Waco. Baylor, the number 6 team, in control.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented.
All right, fellas, thanks. And here in Waco, 17-point advantage.
Yeah, I don't think Scott Drew, he didn't like the way the offense was being run by LeConte. He gets Jake Lindsey back in there.
Lindsey's handled it really well.
Yeah, you want to finish this game off on a high note. You played well for a majority of the night if you're Baylor, but you don't want to lead this game on a down note in the last 3 minutes with Texas making some type of run.
Lindsey tonight. Young to Jones. Out of bounds. Hoping to get that straight. Freeman gets fouled hard, and he'll go to the line. So 2:58 to go. And again, sorry for our technical difficulties. I'm not sure what Eric Davis might have been having an issue with a contact, but he was looking at something there. Texas led by 8 in the first half, but since the break, it has been all Baylor.
Yeah, they really jumped on this Baylor Bear team early and often, getting that basketball inside. But Baylor's a team that'll kind of just wear you down, take their time, get their defense locked in. They're very efficient on both ends of the floor.
And indeed, Eric Davis has got that contact issue fixed. And Motley over the back. And that foul will be his 4th.
Motley didn't think he went over the back there. He had such a size advantage over Jones. As long as he just went up and got that ball over the top of him.
A 30-point night, a career high for Jonathan Motley, as well a career high 19 rebounds as Jones knocks it down. How good's this Baylor team? I mean, we watched them
to win, especially when you come in that week
with him. You agree with me?
No, I just say no. They can do it, but they don't do it as frequently as Kentucky. You'll get the game where it happens.
That's fair.
It's not happening tonight.
That's fair. I was just talking about overall mentality. Playing against Kansas, West Virginia, they'll be fine because they get pumped up for those games.
It's good.
Playing against Texas is another game.
Yeah, we've still got pictures, but think about the halftime. I mean, they forced Texas into 11 turnovers. They held Texas to 1 for 9 from the three-point line. So it wasn't like they weren't competing. Hey, they weren't playing their best, but it is a process. A game is a series of 4-minute games. And you know what? You might not play well 3 of the 4. You might push 2 of the 4, but eventually, you know our other favorite word is?
What?
Cumulative effect. The cumulative effect will take care of it.
Please throw it back to the game. Please throw it back to the game.
That was
I can't even stop talking anymore.
Very insightful. Cumulative effect. Boog, we've messed it all up for you guys.
Well, there is some bad weather in the areas. Hurricane Coach Greenberg back there was making it happen. Now, this one has been Baylor for all of the second half, and they made that push in the first half with the bench doing the work. Motley's had a monstrous night with a career-high 32. Lindsay steps on the sideline and a turnover. Pretty good right here. 30 and 15 for Baylor in the last 20 seasons. It's the third guy to do it.
What a ridiculous night for Jonathan Motley. 32 and 20? Come on, man.
Texas, they got themselves a couple of really good bigs. We got a foul on Lindsay. Jared Allen, by the way, a double-double, his 6th in the 15 points, 10 rebounds.
I like the stroke. He has a good stroke at the foul line. Doesn't shoot it as a high percentage, but shoots it with the seams. Good form. So you can see where he has the potential to keep extending his range.
Well, Jared Allen is a big-time recruit. Number 15 in ESPN 100. And watching him play in person, that's one of those where you sit there and say, yeah, you get it. Wainwright can't throw it down. And now Olmont with Roach out there on him. Both teams playing hard.
Yeah, Texas has no quitting. And that's typical of a Shaka Smart team.
This group right now going to be handed another loss in the Big 12, and they're going to fall in the Big 12 to 1 and 5. Baylor will improve to 5 and 1. And they'll need more of that going forward from Eric Davis. Jonathan Davis as they run out the clock. Baylor a 20-point, or I beg your pardon, a 10-point win, 74-64. Scott Drew's group hangs on to win it. Stay tuned. Up next, the 2017 Australian Open. Baylor wins it here in Waco.